And it's funny because you just lift it up.
Goes right up.
Just like that.
Huh, and this is the original top?
That's the original top.
Look at that. Well, thanks for being here for Cars, Shops, and Collections. Welcome to Las Vegas. Summertime in Las Vegas. It's a hot one today. Listen, thank you so much for watching the show. I get so excited to feature these cars and the people behind these cars, but I get even more excited when I get a comment, a view, a like. So everyone that has watched the show, or this is your first time, welcome. It means so much to me. Thank you for watching it. Now, recently we featured Albert. He had a Gen 1 Camaro and a Gen 2 Camaro. Today is the first day we're gonna do a deep dive on a Gen 3 Camaro. Not just any Gen 3 Camaro. Mike is the owner at right there, Classic and Collectible Cars, right up the street. This is a 1987 Camaro Z28 Convertible, one of 744. So, I'll tell you this much, it is hot leaning against my car. This Vegas heat is very hot. So let's get in my car, Gene, you get in your truck, and we'll go see this 1987 Camaro Z28, one of 744. Oh, hoo, hoo, hoo. He's got it outside waiting for us. Can you believe this? 1987 Camaro Z28. Mike, what is going on, man? Less than 12,000 miles. You always have a special surprise for us when it comes to your cars, man. Good to see you, buddy. How's it going, man? Thank you so much.
No
Remember
problem.
Gene?
Hi, Gene.
This is stunning, man. Absolutely stunning.
If you are of, say, certain age, yes, this is a very cool car.
Yeah, I might be of that age. You might be of that age. I love this car.
Hi, I'm Mike Nicholl, and this is Classic and Collectible Cars. I'm here to show you this 1987 Camaro Z28 Convertible with just under 12,000 original miles.
Mike. It's always good seeing you, buddy. So when I leave work, I drive by every single day. I drive by, and I'm always
a little car show.
I do, yeah. I'm always peeking in, and I saw this, your 1987 Camaro Z28. This is Gen 3, 82 to 92. They're made. The Gen 3 is shorter in length. It's lighter than the Gen 2. How did you find this car? Convertible under 12,000 miles. How did you get this?
So this was actually brought to me by an owner on consignment with us. He had bought it from a friend of his who was really more of the Camaro guy.
Okay.
But he was of a certain age, remembered this car, kind of this high school dream car.
Yes.
So he bought it, and actually, he's from Texas. He actually bought it in Texas and drove it all the way to Las Vegas.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you get one with under 12,000 miles? So this is all original?
This is all original. Yep, original paint, original interior, never been touched.
Do you think they get it, they park it, they don't drive it?
Yeah, there's some people, you know, this was kind of a premium car in its day. So they didn't make very many of them. They were kind of a special order type car. So a lot of people thinking that, oh, well, you know, this is going to be a classic someday, bought them and stuck them in the garages. And so here they are.
I love it. The Z28, so in 1987, you had the Sport Coupe package.
Right.
You had the LT, which replaced the Berlinetta package, which was that kind of elegant, fancy package, right? And then you have the Z28, and then you have the IROC Z.
Right.
This
is just one below the IROC.
The IROC.
Correct.
IROC is 85 to 95, I believe. 85 to 90?
So 92, I think, was the 92 was the last year of this body style.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. It is so neat, too, with the, you come down front here. The Gen 3 Camaro, so different than the Gen 2.
Yes.
You go body style.
Yeah, complete redesign.
Which is so funny because Gen 1 to Gen 2, completely different car.
Yes.
Gen 2 to Gen 3, completely different. I love the gray down bottom matches the wheels, part of the Z28 package, and the original striping, still on the car as well. 87. This is the first year they bring back the convertible since 1969. Do I have that right?
Yep, that's correct.
And is it a factory convertible in 87?
They're not. So Chevy didn't actually build this car. But they were sold through Chevrolet dealerships. They were endorsed by Chevrolet. So they were still carried full Chevy warranties and everything. But they actually started with a T-top coupe. They were sent to a company called ASC.
Okay.
ASC essentially did the convertible conversions. They cut the tops off of them. They added the hard boots, the folding convertible tops. And then they were sold as convertibles through Chevrolet dealerships.
Okay.
Yeah.
Camaro comes out in '67, so this is the 20th anniversary of the Camaro.
Correct, yeah, so if you look right there on the...
Right there in the dash, that is so neat. Can we see under the hood?
Absolutely.
This really is the epitome of the 80s.
It is, right there with, fox-bodied Mustangs, these were the cool cars of their day.
Educate us on what we have here.
So you have your basic, this is a 305, 165 horsepower, basically Chevy's version of the 5.0.
All right.
Pretty underpowered, about 165 horsepower. They were not particularly barn burner type cars. And I will qualify it. They're quick. They're just not fast, at least not by today's standards.
Yeah.
But it's a small convertible with a small V8 in it, and they're still pretty fun to drive.
Power steering.
Power steering, power brake. Yeah, this car is really loaded. It's power steering, power brakes, power windows, power seat, leather upholstery, which is kind of a rare option in it.
Where do you stand with the leather upholstery in a convertible, though?
Well, it kind of depends. I don't mind it. Leather actually over vinyl stays a little bit cooler because it breathes a little bit more. So it's just important to protect it, especially out here.
Yeah, in the Vegas, the desert heat, you're out driving with it's August as we're shooting this, you're gonna burn up inside that convertible.
Yep.
The scoop here, the louvers, that's just for show, right?
Purely cosmetic.
Just for show.
Yeah.
Can I shut it?
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Just like that.
Let's look inside. It's in fantastic condition. Can I open it up? I geek out, and I get heat for it when I point it out, but when you open up a classic car and the door buzzer still works, I get excited over it.
Yeah.
I don't know why, I like it. People are like, it's just a door buzzer, but it's still working from 1987. No issues with the top going up and down?
Yeah, so these are just manual tops. They're just operated by hand.
Okay.
Yeah, they are not power tops, no.
AC Delco radio?
Yep.
So
cassette player.
Cassette player, auto reverse, with your equalizer here as well.
And that probably would have been the top of the line stereo
That would have been,
you could have gotten in this car.
Absolutely. So in '87, our speedometer is still stopping at 85. Right. Later on, we'll bump it up to 110 and even higher.
Right.
But we still have it stopping at 85.
Kind of another sign of the times, right? Yeah.
That Berlinetta edition with the luxury inside was really kind of space age, if you go back to that interior of that car. And they had a radio that popped out that was on a swivel, which is kind of a trip.
Seen that before.
Yeah, so you can, passenger wants to control everything, swivel to the right or turn to the left for you to control. This came out, the rear brake light was 86 is when that became mandatory.
It was a federally mandated thing that cars had to have them starting in 86.
So if you roll up behind a Gen 2, I mean, there's different, or Gen 3, there's ways to tell that what year it is, but you see this, it's post 86. Even the Z28 badging stuff down here, that is so cool. Is this the next generation of cars? Because, your father started this company. You've been selling cars involved in your entire life. Is this the next generation of cars that people are going to be buying?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. I mean, again, a lot of popularity in collector cars is tied to the age of the buyers, right? Yeah. So the next generation that's kind of coming up into their own are guys that are in their late 40s, into their mid 50s, and these were the cars of their youth, right? These are the cars they remember. Now, yeah, granted, they weren't the best built cars in the world, but you are starting to see a lot of movement in late 80s type cars. Yeah. So, I think that really kind of started with the Buick Grand National. I mean, the Buick Grand National is a bona fide collector classic car that people, is very highly sought after, and probably one of the more expensive 80s model American cars that you can buy. Well, these are kind of coming up right behind it. Okay. So you're starting to see these Camaros and fox-bodied Mustangs, and on the Japanese side, you have the 300ZXs, and then if you start getting into the turbos, the Turbo Supras, those things are crazy.
Going up in value.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we go for a ride along?
Absolutely.
It's August, Las Vegas, it's hot, but we got to do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right, sounds good. But the top is manual.
Top is manual, yeah.
So what is this here? To release it or no?
Yeah, so that releases the boot. That's what I was looking for.
Oh, got it, okay.
So it's funny because if you lift that, let me see here, did that? I should have got it. There we go.
Oh, right down there, yeah.
and it's funny because you just lift it up,
Goes right up.
just like that.
Huh. And this is the original top?
That's the original top.
Look at that.
He's
Oh,
like,
here goes the startup. That's smooth.
not particularly like
I'm like, hold on, Mike. Here comes the startup. Yeah, there it is.
yeah, not very dramatic. It's not like starting up a 427 Cobra, you know.
Not bad in the shade right now as we enter. It's kind of a trip that we're shooting this in August. Depends whenever you're watching this. We're shooting this mid-August. And the final Gen 3 was produced August 27th, 1992. And it was a red Z28.
The end of an era.
Yep.
Contrary to popular belief, I actually think that summertime in Vegas for convertibles is still the prime time, just not during the day. At nighttime, you know, when the sun hits the mountain and everything's at shade and it drops down to 95 degrees, but it's you don't have the sun beating on you. That's the best time for a convertible in this town.
This is very smooth. Isn't that smooth back there, Gene?
Oh, yeah.
This is a smooth ride, Mike.
Yeah, they're they in order to make a convertible, in most cars a lot of the strength of the body is actually in the roof itself. So when you cut the roof off of a car, you really compromise its structural stability. So when they make convertibles, they actually put a lot of extra bracing in the floors to stiffen the bodies on them. So when ASC did the conversions on this, there's actually extra plating in the frame and in the floors to make the body stiff and rigid. And on smooth roads, they're smooth cars.
What, you go back to 87 to have that done, to turn into a convertible. Do you know cost-wise what they were charging to take your Camaro and convert it to a convertible?
I want to say this car was around, I'll have to look, I actually have the window sticker for this car. I want to say this car was about I want to say it was around $28,000. It's a lot of money, and I think that was still probably $5,000 or $6,000 more than a regular Camaro, but I'd have to look that up.
A lot of plastic inside, not cracked.
Yeah.
Not cracked.
Yeah.
It is so neat. So there was over 6 million Camaros made over the whole 6 generations. And to have one is 744.
One of 700, and I don't really know the breakdown because that includes the IROC convertibles and Z28 convertibles. So I would think there are probably more IROCs than Z28s because that was it was the top of the line and more popular than just the regular Z28. So I would think this is probably somewhere one of 200 or 300 cars.
Wow, yeah, you break it down too. Yeah. Z28 red, the red interior, leather, all the options. It's a great radio. Spectacular dash. This is a nice ride, man.
Yeah, they're still pretty basic cars, right? Still all analog gauges and everything, so nothing, no digital in these cars. You had to move up into, I think the Pontiacs had, the Firebirds tended to have more digital type stuff than the Camaros did.
I geek out over them. I think they're so cool. Because I do. I go back to high school and seeing these in the parking lot of my high school.
Oh, yeah.
The cool kids had them. And that'd be a Z28 too. Working lighter?
I'm sure. Well, a lighter back then, a power outlet today, right?
Right, yeah. Not gonna find that today. And your story's a really neat story because your dad started the business, right?
Yep.
And then you took over for your father. How many times have you been on Couning Cars?
Over his entire run, I would guess I was probably 12 to 15 times.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually once or twice a season.
Yeah.
I was on with him.
Yeah, if you're thinking you recognize Mike, he's been on Couning Cars. Also, this is our 3rd episode with you.
Yep.
We did it at your CUDA, and then we came here last time for
The DeLorean.
The DeLorean,
Yep.
yeah, the non-time machine DeLorean.
Yes.
And you sold that?
I sold that. Yeah, I went to Southern California.
It is a quiet ride.
Yeah, the nice things, you can do some things to kind of bump up. I mean, a nice set of exhaust on this thing.
Yeah.
Kind of give it a little bit more tone would be nice, and might buy you a little more horsepower out of it. I mean, you're only how fast you want to go is only limited by your wallet.
True.
You can massage a motor and buy horsepower if you want.
And in the back seat, the shoulder seat belts came out in 1989 in the Camaro. So you got a lap belt back there, Gene?
Yeah, lap belt, yep.
And they position these too as kind of that heavy metal rock car. I remember there was an ad campaign. It was like I Rock and Roll, the Camaro I Rock and Roll, and they had an I Rock and you know, heavy metal band in the background or something. 'Cause that was positioned as.
And I don't want to stereotype, but you know, when I always think of Camaro driver from the '80s, I do. I see a guy in a Slayer T-shirt,
Yes, yeah.
you know, with the mullet
Yep.
and the.
Yep. But listen, in '87, that was cool. That was the look.
Yeah.
That's what, you know, grunge wasn't around yet. That's what you're going for. Hair bands at '87, Poison, Metallica.
Yeah.
Metallica wasn't hair band. Motley Crue. Well, thanks for taking the time to show us this car, man.
That's cool.
Like I said, as I drive by all the time, I'm always peeking in to see what you have.
Well, it's funny because when that's why I had to confirm. I said, you do want the A7 because, frankly, I don't really get a lot of traffic on this car for whatever reason. And I was like, because I'm thinking, well, maybe I misunderstood. Maybe he wants to see that LS3 powered '69 convertible that I have in there. That's $165,000.
We'll do a quick walkthrough. We'll do a quick walkthrough before we wrap it up. Yeah, we're in no rush. But it is. Am I the only one that geeks out over these? I think they are so neat. I think they're so neat.
No, they are. They are. You know, I just got a couple of calls. Today I talked to a guy who's got he's got a 2002 Camaro Z28 that, you know, and that was the last year that they made them, right? And it's got 39,000 miles on it that he may want to list with us. And then
69 Mustang fastback.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. RSSS.
Well, made to be. I don't know what that car started out in life as, but you know, it's a $250,000 build, LS3 with a Tremix 6-speed, 4-wheel disc brakes. I mean, it's got everything on it.
You're a busy man. Before we let you go, Mike, can we kind of do a quick walkthrough and kind of point out some of the stuff you have in your collection?
Yeah, you know, so typical for me, I have a little bit of everything. So, you know, I have everything from full resto mod 69 Camaros to, you know, 56 oval window Volkswagen. You know, we started, and you'll kind of start seeing my inventory does start to shift a little bit into kind of 80s and 90s type stuff because it's starting to come up, you know. So just the other day we got in this, what most people would think was mundane, but it's a 99 Mercedes SL 500. You know, with 22,000 original miles on it. You know, this was a $90,000 car in 1999, you know, and now they're actually starting to get some attention, you know. Color combination is just off the charts, right? Yeah, beautiful color combination.
The fastback Mustang too, the paint work on that is out of this world.
That is amazing paint and body work on it, and you should see that car in the sun. I mean, it just
pops out.
That cobalt or sapphire blue just really is a cool color.
When the cars come in, how much work? Because you have your whole crew here. How much work do you do on the cars?
Well, we go through them, check them out. You know, we make sure everything, you know, they run well, drive well, and, you know, headlights and brake lights and turn signals. You know, and some need more than others. I mean, they're old cars, so there's always something to do. So but we go through them all, make sure that they you know, don't have any major issues, and make sure they run well, and so somebody can hop in them and start using them.
Right?
Yeah.
Is this a replica or is this real?
So this is a replica.
Okay.
But oddly enough, a replica that is still almost $100,000 for a replica. Only because an original one is $1 million, right? So, but this is a replica that is built to look like the original. Okay. So, you know, you would, if you sat an original next to it, you would have to look at both of them twice to see which one was the replica and which one's the original.
The average car person thinks to me, I see it, I'm like, God, it looks original to me, it looks real.
Yeah, well, you know, more than likely, if you see one out on the road, It's a replica. You know what I mean? Most guys aren't taking their $1.5 million Cobras
point.
and putting them on the road, unfortunately.
I wanted to see that before we go to the Gen 2 Camaro.
There you go. So we're just getting this car in. We're just kind of doing a few repairs on it and getting it ready. So this is a 70 Super Sport. Kind of a mild resto-mod ride, 383 stroker motor in it, 4-speed. Kind of some liberties taken with with the chrome and the stance of the car. But these cars, oddly enough, you actually see more 67s, 69s than you do the 71s, 2s, and 3s.
Yeah, I love it. And this was your dad's original shop, right?
No, so we actually started out on Losee Road out in North Las
Oh, you
Vegas
did?
in 1982.
So when did you move here?
We bought this building in 2012.
Okay.
So we've been in this location for going on 12 years.
I remember seeing it the first time you were on Couning Cars, and Danny walks in here and just seeing the cars and like, who is this guy and where are these cars? Well, Mike, thank you
As
so
always.
much, man. This is always a pleasure. Always a
Thanks
pleasure.
for thinking of me. Appreciate it.
So you got a little taste of everything that Mike has here, but my heart today is with the 1987 Camaro Z28 Convertible.
Yes, a memory car.
Yes, exactly. Perfect.
And it can be yours real quick, JC.
That's true.
About your checkbook.
Get my checkbook, Gene. I love it, man. Thank you so much. If you want your car, shop, or collection featured on the show, then shoot us an email at carshopsandcollections@gmail.com. That's carshopsandcollections@gmail.com. And thanks for watching, and be sure and subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes of Cars, Shops, and Collections.
JC, I think, we haven't done an episode where you purchase a classic vehicle, so I think this might be the day.
That's true.